guys, everyone knows about Peco's bill, right? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what Peco's bill is. If you know the meme of this one, it looks like a bat for a reason, but it's Lincoln Loud. So now continue with the record player. Because the tripod and the camera angle, but the tripod is broken, but the camera angle is good. But the camera angle is definitely in good condition. Well, we're going to show what Peco's bill. You know this? It's the RCA Victor version of Peco's bill. There's also a Disneyland version of Peco's bill. Alright. So we got 3 records on one record. Alright. First of all, he got side Tears record 1. Oops. I think we got the wrong record right there. That's record 3. No, that's record 2. And that's record 3. If you want to know about Peco's bill, tell me it's Patreon if I find Peco's bill by Disneyland Records. Right. We're coming to know about Peco's bill. So put this down so you could see the record spinning. Alright. Now let's test that Peco's bill vinyl. It's time to test that Peco's bill vinyl.
Shades of night are falling as the wind begins to sigh, and the world is silhouetted.
Sorry about it. It's very loud.
It's mighty neighborly of you to drop by and join us around the campfire. First off, let's all get acquainted, huh? Well, I'm Roy Rogers, and the singing you hear is by Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers. And the play.
Roy Rogers was the voice of Peco.
Oh, yes, and this is my horse Trigger. Well, sit down now and get comfortable while I stir up the fire a bit. Say, those coyotes sure sound mighty lonesome tonight. I guess they must be thinking of poor old Bill. Of course, you've all heard of Pecos Bill. You know, the little boy who lived with the coyotes and... What's that? You haven't? Why, boys, these young folks have never heard of Pecos Bill. Imagine that.
Well, I thought everybody knows Peco.
Bill was the champion cowboy of these United States. He and his horse, Widowmaker.
That their horse was a killer.
Dynamite on the hoof. And if that gal Slewfoot Sue had to come down the river...
Riding on her casting.
Boys, just a minute. Let's start this story at the beginning. Oh, okay, Roy. You start it and we'll help out with a little music. Well, it all started back in Texas a long time ago. Now down Texas way, a river flows. Where it comes from, nobody knows. Where it's going, don't no one care. Just doggone glad it's a-leaving there.
That there's the Pecos River.
Pure alkaline.
Just naturally clean water. Why, the buzzards won't even touch it.
Into this fertile garden spot, once there come a prairie cart. There was Ma and Pa and 16 brats and 4 hound dogs.
Yeah, and a couple of cats.
All a-going west a-looking for elbow room. Crossing the Pecos River bed, Bill fell out and lit on his head. Folks didn't even know he was gone. Old wagon just kept rolling along. Poor little Bill.
Yes, only 2 years old and all by his lonesome. Too bad.
and find out.
Sue sure could ride that Widowmaker.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That there Sue was a regular female buckaroo.
And no matter what tricks that critter played, Sweet Sue called his bluff and stayed. Yeah, for a while it looked like Sue was going to tame that horse. Stuck to him like a burr on a coyote's tail. And then that spring steel buffalo started to underneath them frills and flounces,
Sue was developing plenty of bouncy.
got to be more than that gal could handle. And Sue took off like a Roman candle. Yep, Sue shot straight up in the air. And when she come down, she landed smack on that bustle and went straight up again. Bounced over the Rockies in one long hop.
Yeah, cleared Park's Peak about a mile from the top.
And soon it was plain to the multitude that Sue was gaining altitude. It sure looked like she was a goner. But no, here come a ray of hope. Look, it were Bill and his trusty robe.
He'd darn soon put a stop to this. Shucks, Bill was never known to miss.
Why, Bill had it all figured out. Next time Sue come down, he'd throw his lasso around her. Then ease her down to the ground, kind of gentle like. And the wedding could proceed as per schedule. But Widowmaker, he'd seen what Bill had in mind.
And when nobody was looking, he put his foot on Bill's rope so that when he throwed it, it'd fall short.
But poor Bill, he didn't know about this. He built his loop with careless ease, judged his distance, stuck his finger in the air and tested the breeze. Then a whirl, a twirl, and a twist of the wrist, he let her go. Oh, but the champion missed. Bill never could figure out how he come to this. But Widowmaker, he knew. And as for Sue, she was off again on her heavenly flight. Up she went clean out of sight.
And it ends.
Till far out into space, this unfortunate maid finally come to the moon. And that's where she stayed. Move along, blue shadow. In the state of Texas, USA, life still goes on in the same old way. And the Pecos River still flows on, but that greatest cowboy on earth is gone. Yep, Bill went back to the coyotes, but he never forgot Sue. And every night when the moon rose high, he'd lift his voice in mournful cry, bewailing the fate of his lady fair, his long-lost love in the sky up there. So painful was his grief to see, the coyotes joined in out of sympathy. And that's how come to this very day, coyotes howl at the moon that way.
Now that is all for record 1. The Cindy or pianist record. Let's try record 2. That means this one is, that one's part 3. It literally says part 3, but it says part 2. That means it's not part 1. Well, not just any part.
Lonesome night and the fairy moon, old Ma Coyote hurrying home. She was due for a shock at her journeys, and
For the stork had delivered a dividend.
you guessed it, it was little Bill.
Curled up and fast asleep with Ma's pup.
Bill looked up and then he grinned. Ma's old heart just plumb caved in. Bill seen right off that he needn't fear. He'd staked himself a claim right here.
Yep, Bill made himself right to home.
Joined up with that there coyote outfit.
Become a right good coyote, too, Bill did.
And that's how Pecos Bill growed up tougher than any coyote pup.
And I guess Bill kind of had the knack for it, 'cause soon he was the boss of that there coyote pack.
Yeah, but little Bill couldn't rest till he'd proved himself the A1 best.
And in a year, or maybe 2, he was the boss of all them other varmints, too.
But it all come kind of natural to Bill. No matter what the other varmints did, Bill could do her better.
When an antelope come wolfing down the desert,
Bill up and out loped the antelope.
wildcat tried screaming at Bill.
Bill plumb out-screamed that wildcat.
And one day when a grizzly bear was foolish enough to wrestle with Bill,
Bill out-wrestled that grizzly so bad.
And that grizzly tried to get away so fast.
Not realizing that Bill had hold his tail.
that tail broke off. Spang at the root.
And that's why them grizzlies got no tails today. And now, you know what a keen nose a wolf has, how good he can smell.
Well, after a couple of years of them there coyotes, you should have smelt Bill.
That is all for part 2. And part 4. Part 3. Part 4 is going to be next.
Bill and Widowmaker were sure happy.
They was as close as two sides of a thin box.
Yeah, looked like nothing could ever come between them.
And then Slewfoot Sue come along. Now, Bill was happy that fateful day, a-killin' some time in his carefree way, inventing a one-man rodeo, a button heads with a buffalo.
Bill claimed it as plumb invigorating.
Made a feller use his head. Yeah, surely cleared the cobwebs from his brain.
And then, old man Fate started dealing from the bottom of the deck.
For down the stream come a young female, a-riding a catfish as big as a whale.
And the minute he seen her, Pecos knew that he was in love with Slewfoot Sue.
Now, I ain't one to be depreciating womanhood, but...
Oh, me neither. Some of the finest mothers I ever knowed is women.
Why, sure, me too.
But for a feller like Bill, happy and carefree,
Marriage just wasn't in the cards for him.
Widowmaker, he knowed it too.
Yep, he tried to warn Bill.
But it wasn't no use. Bill was a goner. Right then and there, he asked Sue to marry him.
And naturally, Sue agreed on certain conditions.
Yep, first off, Sue wanted Bill to get her a bustle. You know, one of those do-funnies made of steel and wire? All the fashionable women used to wear them.
Yeah, right where they sit down, right smack in the back of their lap.
And Bill got it for her. Yep, he come up with the springiest, the strongest steel bustle the world has ever seen.
Yeah, sure, if you give it just one tap with your hand, you could hear it spring like this.
Well, Sue put the bustle on and reckoned it looked right pretty. But was she satisfied?
No, not Sue. Next, she said Widowmaker'd have to move out of Bill's house.
Yeah, no more sleeping in a bed of nice soft cactus needles right next to Bill's bunk.
No more eating his hay at the table with Bill.
He'd have to live in the barn, just like any other old horse.
But that wasn't the worst. When the wedding day come, Sue insisted on riding to the preacher's house on Widowmaker's back.
That was plumb humiliating.
Why, Widowmaker had never let no one but Bill ride him.
And
Now, a woman, and wearing a bustle. Why, no self-respecting horse would stand for that.
Yeah, that old jughead was plumb irritated.
But it didn't bother Sue none.
why, she walked right up to that critter's side, and her gentle hand touched his bristling hide. Her foot found a stirrup, and with the flick of her bustle, Sue was aboard, and socked right there for the tussle.
And the proceeding begun to commence forthwith.
That might be the very end of this record. Not just the end. You got one more to do. Here's the final record. This one's part 5 through 6. This is part 3 for some reason. This one's part 5.
By now, of course,
figured he was a sure enough coyote. And then one day,
A cowhand come right flying. Fellow by the name of Wide Awake Jones, were.
Howdy, stranger, said Wide Awake.
Howdy, says Bill.
Now, I don't mean to be a presuming on your privacy, stranger, but ain't this all sort of irregular, running around on all fours without no clothes on, acting like a coyote?
Nothing irregular about that, says Bill. Seems how I am a coyote.
Yeah. Well, I swan. Can you prove it?
Why, sure, says Bill. Look, I got fleas. And Bill scratched his right ear with his left hind leg.
Oh, now, shucks, that don't prove nothing. Everybody in these parts has got fleas, said Wide Awake. And he scratched his right ear to prove that. That's right. If when you're a coyote, we're at your long furry tail.
Well, sir, Bill seen right there that Wide Awake had him. For sure enough, he didn't have no tail. But if I ain't a coyote, says Bill, getting up on his hind legs, what am I, human?
Oh, said Wide Awake. If when you're a human, you'd be a riding a horse. All humans in these sure parts ride horses. Well, evening, stranger. Hope I ain't inconvenienced you none.
Well, sir, Bill was a little mite upset about that. Used to sit for hours out on the desert wondering how he could get a horse and become a human.
then one day, across the burning sand, a stranger come to the Pecos land. The usual committee,
Hungry buzzards.
was there today to welcome their guest in the usual way.
It was a little cold. And that flock of buzzards was all set to make a meal out of it.
Poor little feller. Lost, deadbeat, plumb tuckered down.
But still full of spirit.
And he was a-putting up quite a battle.
Now, 50 to 1 weren't no fair fight. But 1 plus Bill made it just about right. Them graveyard chickens was scattered plumb to the furthest corners of Kingdom Come. Bill and that horse had won the day.
And that's how come Bill met Widowmaker.
Yes, sir, it was the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
That is all for the. That is all for this side. That is all for side 5. Here's the last side that has music on it. Disney, do not block this video. And Walt Disney, do not block this video. And I know this video is not copyright infringement intended. Do not block this. Don't block this at all.
Yep, from that time on, them two stuck together. Like warts on a toad, like birds of a feather. When old Bill growed up, it was natural, of course. He'd choose a career to suit him and his horse.
Yep, Bill become a root tootin' cowboy.
Right there.
Pecos Bill was quite a cowboy down in Texas, and a western superman to say the least. He was the roughest, toughest critter, never known to be a quitter, 'cause he never had no fear of man or beast. So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-o, for the toughest critter west of the Alamo. Once he roped the raging cyclone out of nowhere. Then he straddled it and settled down with ease. And while that cyclone bucked and flitted, Pecos rolled a smoke and lit it, and he tamed that ornery wind down to a breeze. So if you
Yodeling right there.
Once there was a drought that spread all over Texas. So to sunny California he did go. And though the gag is kinda corny, he brought rain from California. That's the way we got the Gulf of Mexico. So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-o, for the toughest critter west of the Alamo.
Now, once a band of rustlers stole a herd of cattle. they stole was bills. And when he caught them crooked villains, Pecos knocked out all their fillings. That's the reason why there's gold in them there hills.
So yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-oh, we're the toughest critter west of the Alamo. Oh, Pecos lost his way while traveling.
And there's the low pitch part of it.
It was 90 miles across the burning sand. He'd never reach that border if he didn't get some water. So he got a stick and dug the Got a stick and dug the Rio Grande. Maliola. While a tribe of painted Indians did a war dance, Peco started shooting up their little game. He gave them redskins such a shake-up that they jumped out of their makeup. That's the way the painted desert got its name. So yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-oh, we're the toughest critter west of the Alamo. While reclining on a cloud high over Texas, with his guns he made the stars evaporate. Then Peco saw them stars declining, so he let one brightly shine as the emblem of the Lone Star Texas State. So yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-oh, as the emblem of the Lone Star Texas State.
Want to learn more about Pecos Bill?